Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today, a week on from selling Husley, my beloved MG ZT190, I was tempted by something in the week, so we'll get into this video and find out what. So the last car I bought was actually the E91 BMW. So this year so far, I've only bought 2 MG Rover cars and a couple of BMWs. Obviously bought Poseidon as well and Biomorphic. But people are going to say, "Oh, you're going off MG Rover? You're going off MG Rover?" No, not a bit of it. Now, my plan was, as I've said in previous videos, was to sell a number of my cars to finance, firstly, my Rover 200 BRM, getting welded up, getting some bodywork done, bit of paint. Number 2, to fund Biomorphic. Luckily, Poseidon, the last MG Rover car I bought, doesn't need that much doing. It's all interior stuff, which, touch wood, I've got 90% of the stuff to do. So there'll be a series coming up on that. But good friend of mine, Dan Hooper, who those of you who know will know him, very much involved in Rover 120 MG 100. He got in touch with me in the week because a car wasn't actually on the market, and he thought it might fit the bill for me. Now, as you know, I am passionate about MG ZTs, especially Rover 75s, ZTT 75 Tourers. They are, for me, the sweet spot, particularly the V6 powered ones in the MG Rover offering, particularly in the Zs, the MG Rover cars that were built between 2001 2005 with a bit of badge engineering just to try and revive. So it was Phoenix Consortium's way of reviving the Rover group. So I've got a ZR, BRM, I've had a ZR before, I'm well into it, but the car that you're about to see when I pull over in Gloucestershire in about 20 minutes, excuse me, full of cold, loads of germs going around. The car you're about to see in a minute is one that I've not actually owned before. Done a couple of review videos, but this one is a car that I've not owned, and it's a bit special as well, and you'll see why in just a sec. Right, can you guess what it is? Some of you will guess. Here it is. It's an MG ZS 180 Saloon Mark 1 in Monogram Typhoon. So yes, I've now got 3 Monogram Zs, Biomorphic ZR, this Typhoon ZS and the Poseidon ZT. So let's have a look around it. Paint is not bad, usual MG Rover spots. So we've got a bit of lacquer, so the lacquer's going. You can see how it actually goes. You've got, this one I wish I had a macro lens, you've got a little dot in the lacquer, so the water gets underneath and it starts to go. So I'm hoping that it's good enough for a smart repair. Lacquer's going on this rail here, as you can see, and the roof, you'll notice, is a different colour. It's black because it's been wrapped. Now, whether that's because the lacquer really went and they were fed up with looking at it, or whether it's because they wanted to protect it, I don't know, because that's where they go, on the roof. Excuse me, I'm in a car sales place, which we'll do a video on in a minute. It's Saloon, that was one of my requirements. Got the big spoiler, so very happy with that. It is a Mark 1. I was really after a Mark 2, but beggars can't be choosers, and this was a good deal. So it's got the Mark 2, which arguably is the more attractive front anyway. That is a private plate, so it's actually an 03 registered car. The name, so Dan Hooper's actually named this car, so registration is Dylan. So that's the name of the car. So welcome to Beards and Bangers fleet, Dylan. These V6 badges do have to go, because I don't like those. I'm going to pop the boot open. You'll notice the door handle's missing there. Now that wasn't like that when I bought the car, I was actually in the local pub last night, just got in there, and a friend of mine was unwell, so I said, I'll give you a lift home. And I rushed to put my rucksack in the back of the car, and this came off. So that's going to need some attention. They do come off, they're not great. I do like the boot on, good boot on these, so really, really good boot actually. It's not a lot, it's a bit deeper than a ZT boot. So we'll shut that up. Inside, obviously, this is a lot more Honda than some of the other cars. Well, mine's Simon's Dolomite. So yeah, you've got completely sort of different, steering wheel's the same. So you know, your binnacle's the same, but the sort of centre console's completely different. We have got a sunroof. We've got door cards that are falling to pieces. They are flocked though, so they'll need to be done by a specialist. That's not something me or Austin can do. Headlining's okay, but it will need doing at some point. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty clean. Seats are all nice. The back seats, I can't get in the back that way, so we'll have to go back round there. Back round here. And yes, I have been full of cold, so that's why I'm snuffly and coffee and horrible. So back seats barely look like they've been sat in. Yeah, it's a nice colour. The sun hasn't actually come out on this car for me yet, so I don't know how it kind of flips. So I have seen Typhoons before, but there we are. The latest Beards and Bangers car. What am I going to do? We're going to just get it tidied up. Mechanically, we'll take it out for a drive in a sec. Mechanically, it seems pretty good. No history, but I believe the belts were done a couple of years ago. Brakes are great, straight as anything, doesn't pull in funny directions, no judder, and it stops, so that's important. Clutch is a bit sticky. I've just pulled into this car park and couldn't actually change out of first without kind of pulling the clutch up, so we'll need to look at that. Hopefully I'm going to get home, because I don't really want to get stuck out in this neck of the woods. Yeah, get the paint sorted out, get the little bits done, and it's a light project really. What the long-term future is for the car, I don't know. We will find out. We will evolve. Use it today. Simon's meetup, Smashing Pistons, is his meetup today, so there'll be some videos on that, or video on that next few days, no doubt. Yeah, get it back from here, and then yeah, get him in the unit, kind of just assess him properly. I think job number one is a good service. Actually, we haven't opened, do you know, I've not opened the bonnet. How silly. Let's have a look under there while we're talking about servicing. Familiar engine, different layout. So yeah, under the bonnet, obviously got our KV6. I haven't opened it up that much. We will say we'll finish this video off with a drive in a moment. But yeah, it needs a bit of cleaning up in there, a bit of paint, get some hammerite on, bits like that. Doesn't like starting, so I suspect it needs a full service. So that's a job we'll do straight away. That's just like a standard thing. So plugs, oil, filters, just really go through everything to make sure it's completely nice. Yeah, and get some fresh oil in it, because I don't know when it was last serviced. Seems to be plenty of coolant, but temperature's holding steady. So yeah, that all seems good. Yeah, so just got to get used to this new engine bag, because it's completely different, obviously, to the ZTs, and completely different to the ZRs, of course, as well. So take a bit of getting used to things, but I'm sure I will. So let's take Dylan out for a drive. So we'll go for a drive, just give you some first impressions. I'm on the A40 heading out west, and Simon Easton's driven past me in Dolly. We'll catch him up. Yeah, so I've done a couple of reviews on ZS's. I've driven 3, I think. I've done 2 videos. Matt Dickens' Nocturne, also a Monogram, and Adrian Fell's Ziggy, the trophy blue one that he sold a couple of years ago. And when you're reviewing a car, you're not spending real time. Now, I've done about 220 miles in this car so far, in less than 24 hours of ownership. And it's only when you do something like that that you really appreciate what a car's like. Apologies for the bumpiness, I'm going over some kind of speed restricting things. Yeah, so my first impression is that it really is in between a ZR and a ZT. So obviously the ZT is extremely comfortable. That's why I favour the ZT 190 in particular, because you've got the sort of comfort and refinement that you get in a Rover 75, but you've got that slightly sharper handling plus the slightly boosted V6 engine, and that's something that I really like a lot. The other thing that's interesting is that the handling's really good. The fuel economy, I'm going to get an OBD reader that tells me what the MPG is, because I've barely used any fuel in this car, and I know the ZT190s are a bit thirstier because you've got bigger camshafts. But yeah, this is quite impressive on the fuel, I have to say. The other interesting thing is obviously the KV6, when it's in a ZT or a 75 manual, is mated to a Getrag gearbox, which is, you know, obviously a bit different. This has got the PG1 that you find in the ZR, the higher powered ZR, so the 160, the 120, the diesels. It's in the BRM, it's in the VI, and it was in some of the R8s as well, the higher performance versions. And it's a good match because it's not screaming in 5th gear. Now obviously you can have the same gearbox and change gear ratios, but this actually, you know, on the motorway at 70, it's not screaming. Part of that, understandably, is that it has got a fairly quiet exhaust on this car. It's not got a stainless steel, raspy, noisy exhaust. But yeah, what I like about this car is it's nimble enough to kind of enjoy yourself on B roads and country lanes, but it's also not noisy, and it's not too noisy. It's comfortable enough. You've got a nice big. This seat is really comfy. It's, you know, it's not an uncomfortable seat, which the ZRs can be. You know, on longer journeys, the ZRs Streetwise is. The more sporty versions of the R3 can get a bit uncomfortable on longer journey. So this really is in between the two, and I do like it. So if you want to see what's going to happen with this car, there's going to be quite a few bits happening to it, because there needs to be. Then hit that subscribe button if you don't already do so. If you know something about this car, because it's a monogram, obviously these cars are known and people do kind of track the progress of them, then do drop a comment down below, share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And I'll see you again soon with some more content. Don't know what it might be, could be anything, you never know. Got some stuff to film, which is really exciting, and I'll see you again very soon, next episode of Beards and Bangers, whatever that might be. Goodbye.